Hey, it's Lon, and just days after his latest film, Avengers: Age of Ultron, debuted to about $440 million at the global box office, Joss Whedon has abruptly quit Twitter. It's important enough, we're making a video about it. Whedon's final tweet, quote, "Thank you to all the people who've been so kind and funny and inspiring up in here." Up in here. Yeah, it's cooler that way if you say up in here, because y'all gonna make him lose his mind. There's been rampant guesswork about why he made the decision to cut and run from the social network. We have some of the leading theories here. Number one is he just doesn't have time to tweet. Now, Whedon has talked previously a lot about how he finds Twitter a lot of pressure. Back in August of 2013, he told Entertainment Weekly, quote, "The moment I joined, oh my God, what a responsibility. This is enormous work, very fun, but it really started to take up a huge amount of headspace. People are like, it's a drug, yeah, and it's like a job. It's just another art form." So I think, it could be that he's got all of this pressure. He just doesn't want to keep up on Twitter because there's just so much to do in his life, and crafting the perfect tweet, just not a high priority. There's number two. Second theory, he's done promoting his movie. Now, previously, Whedon had gotten very active on Twitter when he was promoting his adaptation of Much Ado About Nothing. Then it kind of fell off. Then he gets active again around when Avengers: Age of Ultron comes out, and now he's kind of taking a break. It could just be that he's kind of wiped out. In fact, a recent BuzzFeed article hinted that Whedon was pretty worn out and fatigued by the experience of making Avengers: Age of Ultron, which I think you can understand because the movie has about 250,000 main characters. He's looking back on the experience of making the movie in the article, and he says, "I gotta say, it's been dark, it's been weird, it's been horrible. I feel like every day, like I didn't do enough, I wasn't ready. Here's failure, here's compromise." That sounds like a guy who maybe could use a rest and a few weeks not on Twitter, or at least just tweeting out his results from BuzzFeed quizzes about which Avengers 2 character he is. Number three, third theory, Whedon's not happy about his own Twittering. We gotta go back to early April. Universal dropped this clip from Jurassic World. It features a little light movie trailer appropriate sexual banter between Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. The feminist-leaning blog, The Mary Sue, picked up this clip and said, "We're too busy fanning ourselves to talk more about Chris Pratt in this Jurassic World clip." They also did a blog post that was all gifs of ladies fanning themselves and making noises about Chris Pratt and his relative hotness. Joss Whedon responded. He tweeted out the Mary Sue tweet and said, "And I'm too busy wishing this clip wasn't 70s era sexist. She's a stiff, he's a life force." Really? Still? Now that got a lot of reaction from people online. That quote was picked up everywhere. Time, The Hollywood Reporter, Guardian, and it got this whole conversation started about, is Jurassic World feminist? And who appointed Joss Whedon as this sort of feminist crusader against movies? And all that was happening last month. Whedon actually, when he was talking to the blog Badass Digest, he said he thought that comment was in bad form. He regretted making it, and it was something he generally doesn't do. Finally, the last theory, Joss Whedon was hounded off Twitter by angry feminists. Now again, there's no evidence this is what happened. It's just a lot of people are thinking that because Age of Ultron has attracted a lot of criticism from certain feminist circles online, people are thinking that the pressure of being criticized constantly just got to Joss, and he decided it was time to check out for a while. So what are people upset about in Age of Ultron? Well, there's a few different things. Joss had promised that it was going to have a lot of really strong, prominent female roles on screen, and the movie, when you see the movie, it definitely leans more towards the male heroes. In fact, strong characters like S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Maria Hill and Scarlet Witch largely sidelined until the third act, but everybody's main problem seems to be the way Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson's character, is portrayed. A lot of the movie focuses on her sort of will they, won't they romance with Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, and people I think are disappointed in that she doesn't get more of an active, action-oriented role like some of the other heroes. And there's also a Tony Stark joke about prima nocta, the right of kings to sleep with any bride on their wedding night. It became sort of an iconic thing people know about because of Braveheart, where it's a plot point. So Tony, when he's trying to pick up Mjolnir, the Thor's hammer that would make him king of Asgard, he asks, if it works, will I get prima nocta in Asgard, which a lot of people think is kind of basically a rape joke and maybe not appropriate for a family Disney superhero adventure. So there have also even been claims that Whedon's receiving death threats from feminists, but there's no actual evidence of this. I did not find any, "Hey, Joss Whedon, we're feminists and we're gonna kill you" tweets, and I was really looking. So let's read some of the tweets that we did see. At Patton Oswalt says, "Yep, there is a Tea Party equivalent of progressivism, liberalism, and they just chased Joss Whedon off Twitter. Good job, guys." Ugh. So again, we don't know if that's what happened. That's sort of a theory that people have right now. We know Joss Whedon was getting a lot of criticism from feminists on Twitter. We don't know that that's what drove him off of Twitter. Ashley Escada says, maybe if Twitter starts losing people like Joss Whedon, we can finally get some decent harassment tools on this platform. That's definitely been a thing people have been calling out for a long time. The need to sort of better police Twitter when people are getting harassed, like maybe Joss was allegedly. Entertainment Weekly writer Anthony Bresnikan says, seeing rumors but no evidence of Joss Whedon death threats, are we sure he didn't quit Twitter for the old reason? The old reason being he was kind of bored of Twitter and done with it. So we want to know, do you follow Joss Whedon on Twitter? Are you sad that he's gone? Why do you think he quit? Do you think he's going to come back? We want to know your answers to literally all of those questions. So please leave them in an organized fashion in the comments below. Also remember to like, share, and subscribe to this video, and click over here to see our collection of all of the big Avengers Age of Ultron parodies going on online.